There's a reason why the NYPD for almost forever has said you can do 20 years and then you can retire, because we see things, we smell things, we deal with things that really humans are not made to deal with. But in that process, depending on the type of investigator or cop that you are, I think it changes you. I'm not saying every cop, but I will tell, for me, I mean, my fiance tells me that, we've been together for a long time, and she says that, the person that I was when I joined the police department and the person that I was when I left the police department are two different people. You're not a better or a worse person, but I think you're probably a little bit harder, right? You're not as full of emotion as perhaps you once were. I mean, you think about nights that you spend in a crime scene where, you're literally, eating dinner a couple of feet away from dead bodies. I mean, that's not real life. That's things that people in the military and again, law enforcement professionals see. So when you ask yourself, kind of what was tougher, that stuff is tough. You bring that home. Sometimes the night terrors, the nightmares, you think about the times that we have served in law enforcement and the war that there's been on cops. I mean, I remember the days following Ramos and Lou being assassinated, and just like this heavy thickness over the city that every time you suited up to go out on the street, you thought like something else was going to pop off, and we were headed for an even bigger disaster. And you think about some of the lowest times in the NYPD. Really a lot of them have been within the last 25 years. But we've also seen some great victories in our storied history. And so when you say which is tougher, I mean, being a law enforcement professional is a tough job, but being an elected official is just sort of comes to a different realm. And especially a federal elected official where your face is always on the national news networks, and it's tough. We could say it in any career, but I think politics must draw the biggest maniacs out of the woodwork. I mean, some of the things that have been written and said on social media about me, towards me, I mean, nobody would say in person. I mean, these are just straight up keyboard warriors. Some of them you don't even know who they are. And some of them are dangerous. I mean, we've, over the last couple of years, we've had multiple death threats. We've had bomb scares where people have been arrested, so life's not easy. You go out to dinner and you're harassed by, pro-Palestinian, terrorist sympathizers. So none of that stuff is ever easy. And then, there's also the competitiveness of it, the fact that you're competing in Congress really, against your own party. You want to have positions on committees. You want to have chairmans of subcommittees. You want to be part of certain caucuses and other opportunities. And that's all competition, not just amongst the other side of the aisle, but as well as the people in your own camp. And then you have the political side of it. The fact that in Congress, it's a 2-year term. So the moment you win, you got about 12 hours to relax and soak up the good time, and you're back at campaigning.